Okay, here we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Hi, everybody. I welcome to this very short podcast where we're going to explain what has transpired since our website was taken down bi-weekly last Wednesday, March the 5th. We didn't know what was going on because we were not giving any kind of due process. But then again, private enterprise doesn't give any due process when they just pull the plug on you. So many of you that are in the community know what that is like, to go to your social media and not find it there. The Targeted Justice website had been on since, Richard, say hi.
Hi, good evening, guys. So yeah, Targeted Justice website was initiated in December of 2017. So we've been with Weebly since that period of time. We've been with Cloudflare since about 2022. So we've got a pretty good history with these folks, and it's a little surprising, this turn of events.
Well, we're going to give today, we published Targeted Justice, not we, because I have my own, but Targeted Justice published a newsletter explaining the chronology of events. And I'm going to have Richard explain it. But it's really important because here's the thing. Everything in the internet leaves a trace. Even if they try to scrub it, the evidence is there. And the evidence is there that someone has been tampering with Targeted Justice website since at least December 10th, until they were finally able to pull the plug on it, because we have become a problem for the criminals. So please, Richard, explain what the chronology, and I think I have here, this is a slide, right? This is a picture that you want to talk about.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. So I'm not sure you can see this, but it's a little whited out, but it does provide a basic timeline of events. It shows how, again, there's a website that specializes in tracking DNS settings and other IP settings for various websites. So this is not our information. We gleaned this from a separate internet utilities website. So basically, as I mentioned, Targeted Justice has been online since December of 2017. Recently, on or about December the 10th, we started noticing a significant increase in spurious activity. I'll call it spurious activity on our website and on our router and internet connections. So what we did on December 10th was we posted a draft online at Substack. It wasn't published or distributed, but we posted a draft of what we were planning to release the next day on December the 11th. So on December the 10th, we had a draft that provided contact information for Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, and Pete Hegseth. Now, is this doxing? No, it is not. This is publicly available information. In fact, Tulsi and Kash information, contact information, was Tulsi provided that contact information on her website, and Kash Patel had contact information from, I believe, from his publicly available lawsuits that he was using or working with a law firm in Washington, D.C. So this is
what was the name of that newsletter? Want to shut down the program, right?
Yeah, want to shut down the program.
And it was when was it published?
And it was published on December the 11th. So, but it's important that we note that even when we presented a draft, the agents of the deep state took objection to it and immediately wanted to shut it down, because the last thing they wanted was snail mail addresses for these three key people, because we intend to keep informing them about the targeted individual program, how illegal it is, how many people are affected by it, not only in the United States, but worldwide. And we need it shut down. And communicating repeatedly with these very important government officials is an effective way to get the word out and to get the program shut down. So that's one of the reasons we started our Digital Warrior campaign, is to get folks off the couch. Don't sit there and feel bad about your situation. Let's fight back. We fight back using legal means. We never threaten violence of any kind. Targeted Justice has repeatedly stated on our website, in our newsletter, Targeted Justice only advocates for nonviolent methods. That's it. That's our policy. We never threaten anyone, and we never intend to threaten anyone. So to the extent that someone may have done that, they were acting on their own initiative. We can shut down this program without violence, and using violent methods is a sure way to discredit us. And so we're not going to be a part of that, as we have repeatedly stated. So
so what happened? Let's start with what happened on May 5th.
So March 5th. On March we noticed during February, our key account that actually receives notices that would alert us to hacking and altering of our website, DNS settings, things like that. That entire email system was completely blocked for an entire month. This was very concerning. This was through StartMail, actually, and StartMail has refused.
What do you mean by completely blocked? Like you didn't get
not a single email was received. We typically receive through this informational account 3 to 5 emails per day, and it keeps us informed about things that are going on specific activities that we have online, accounts that we have online for Targeted Justice, and not a single email went through during from about February the 3rd through March 4th, roughly. So it was a 1-month period, and StartMail has insisted that it was because we exceeded our gigabyte limit, and we find that hard to believe, because if you took all the emails received in an entire year, it wouldn't even amount to a gigabyte. So we find their claims to be not believable. I'm not saying we can't. They haven't provided any evidence or proof of their claim, but it's simply one piece of evidence in this that suggests an organized campaign against Targeted Justice. So the beginning of hacks and attacks on our routers and the internet on December the 10th, even before we published that newsletter, which is very key, all the way through the month of February. Then on March the 5th, we received a notice from register.com, which provides official notices to websites. I believe they're associated with ICON. And we were told that a complaint had been filed against us, and literally the same day, within hours, Weebly took down our website. No, there was no discussion about confirming whether the claims were real. There was no discussion about whether the claims were even lawful. They simply took it down, and they followed up 5 days later with a very short email message saying it's a permanent revocation. You violated our terms of service, and tough luck. That's it.
Let's stop right there. Hold on 1 second. When did you see that email for the first time? The March 5th email. When did you see it? Was it not Sunday?
It was after that date.
Yeah.
It was after that.
And so because the addresses are different, right? Your login for what Weebly is different than that email.
So they send it to an email address that we don't routinely contact, but our login for email for editing our file on Weebly has a specific email address that we check that is available every day. So it's almost like they deliberately sent it to an email account that they knew we weren't going to be checking every day. That's also a little suspicious.
And Weebly did not send to the logging email. They did not send any notice. That other email is the one that is attached to the registry of the domain. So Weebly pulled the plug and did not send an email notifying why. So we are just, at a loss. I thought it was because I had made a post to Candace Owens regarding when are you going to investigate the unacknowledged special access program, because it coincided. It was like an hour later, that like around 2:30, right? On March 5th. So anyway, so after you got that email, we have been calling Weebly, and what has happened? What has transpired after that?
So it's actually been quite frustrating. Weebly, apparently they were able to make a decision to take down our website in a matter of hours, but we have spent days on the phone with them trying to get access to what is our intellectual property and content. And it's a violation of law for them to hold our information and content hostage. We're still not able to scrape that data and information from their editor. And it seems to be a fairly deliberate attempt to stall us. They've given us 1 week to remove our content, but we can't remove that content and separate it from the command lines of their editor. So it really comes out as garbage, basically.
Because they refuse to let the page be online, we cannot archive it, right?
That's correct. We need a published site to be able to archive it, and they're refusing. Thus far, they have refused to publish it. So the legal matters are actually very strongly in our favor in this case, and I'll let our attorney explain that to you. But we're deliberately being cautious about this because if we need to pursue legal action, we want all the cards to be on our hand. So. And if you could talk about the legal issues that are
well, yeah, the legal issues is as was published by Targeted Justice. First of all, the complaint that Mr. Wolfson filed with, I think it was web.com or register.com, whichever it was, did not amount to an actionable doxing because, number one, the information that was published was, I believe it was, his official government email, which is not his property, it's government information. His name, when you are a government employee, your name is not private in any way. And the other information he had plastered all over the internet through the links were provided in the Substack. I urge you all to read it, because for those of you that have been censored, we quoted in there President Trump's executive order signed on January 20th prohibiting public officials of the federal government interfering with any person or corporation First Amendment rights. That is one of the most important. And this came about, remember, the Twitter files that Matt Taibbi discovered. The FBI had an office. They had a field office inside Twitter censoring our accounts because it turned out that it wasn't like influencers with 500,000 followers that they were tampering with. They were tampering with accounts that had 1,000, 2,000 followers. And guess who they are? Targeted individuals like you and like me and like Richard here. And who, by the way, cannot even get a Twitter account. He's tried and can't get it. So the field office, the Twitter field office that Matt Taibbi discovered at Twitter, right, that supposedly was dismantled, but we all know that it seems they are in some way hacking X because they are deleting our posts and they are tampering with our messages. So either, there's somebody still at X that is secretly working for the deep state, because we know that Musk is fighting them, or these criminals have a back door where they can continue to tamper, because you and I know I am being severely censored, and our posts are being severely censored. So our darlings too, and our digital warriors, some of Jill's posts disappear and then they appear. It's just very weird. So we really urge the people at X to investigate, because sometimes the enemy is within. And so from a legal perspective, we requested an investigation of the violation. Targeted Justice requested from the Honorable Pam Bondi and from Mr. Patel and from Mr. Kennedy, who is the boss of Mr. Wolfson, that used his position at the NIH to file this complaint. Well, we asked for an investigation because this is an atrocious violation of President Trump's order. Targeted Justice does not make up any of the stuff that was on its website. It was all obtained from records, many of which were provided by this, what's it called, Development Division?
Yes, it's I believe it's called NINDS, NINDS, but basically this particular group develops designs and develops what they call invasive devices, or what we call implants. So this group has specialized in this for a long time. DARPA, IARPA, and ARPA-H have clearly been privy to this information, which should not have been released from this group. And yet DARPA and other organizations have invested heavily in terms of donations and funding for the development of these devices, so they clearly had access to them. There are strict rules against non-consensual human experimentation at NIH. The loophole and the huge back door, the back gate to the barn that's wide open, is groups like DARPA and ARPA-H can sit in these meetings, have discussions with these people. They're all part of NIH, walk out the door with these designs, take them to a manufacturer, have them manufactured and implanted under military programs. And the NIH is in complete denial that this backdoor gate is wide open. They're, oh no, we've got very strict rules about non-consensual human experimentation. We would never do that. Well, they're handing over the entire technology and the designs, making completely available to DARPA and others who literally invest in them and clearly have access to the designs. And yet NIH is I'm not even sure what the word is, but let's just say culpable in this parade of events. So we're more than upset about it. We want it stopped. Many TIs are clearly implanted with some of these non-invasive devices. This is probably the largest research organization in the world that develops non-invasive devices. So I think there's some accountability that needs to happen. These are our opinions.
Well, but in the NIH, in that divisions page, they talk about the millions of dollars that DARPA gives them in funding. And DARPA is not in the business of making America healthy again. They definitely are not. They are only in the business of
killing. They are in the business of killing.
Exactly.
DARPA creates projects to advance the state of killing technologies. They are not promoting human health or humanity. They are in the business of killing.
So we urge our digital warriors to go out and tag Robert F. Kennedy, who is the boss, because as the Secretary of Health and Human Services, he is the boss of everybody at NIH. And let him know, first of all, that this partnership between DARPA and NIH is everything but for the health of the people. And number two, that he investigate the violation of the clear words of President Trump's executive order prohibiting any federal official or any federal agency from interfering with anybody's First Amendment rights in the internet and anywhere else, which is exactly what they have been doing. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, this is clearly, this isn't just an isolated event, and we need to emphasize that. We have documented numerous, I couldn't even begin to count them all, hacking of our routers, our laptops, our cell phones. Right now, the episodes I'm going through, I have an account with T-Mobile. They are altering the IP address on my phone every 5 to 7 minutes. It's outrageous. It's an invasion of privacy. It's some type of illegal surveillance. I certainly didn't request it, but because they're doing this, it logs me out of whatever email account that I'm in or whatever app that it requires an account login. By changing the IP address, it generally causes you to be logged off. So, and again, this is happening over a very rapid period. It appears they're trying to hide me from people on the internet, which is very strange, because most targeted individuals complain about the opposite, as though their life is exposed to the whole world. And it appears the way they're treating me is they want me hidden from the world. Very strange.
I want to add two things. Number one, although I know it's terrible that they have hidden our page, I urge you, and our digital warriors have posted everywhere links to the Wayback Machine, where our Targeted Justice page has been archived. Then there's also archive.today that has it. There are, if you need the information for anything that you are doing, whether it be writing to any federal official or making your own digital warrior campaign, you should know that that most of the information is still available thanks to the Wayback Machine, the Internet Archive, which, as you may recall, 2 weeks ago, Targeted Justice, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe, it was a premonition that we had to ask the Wayback Machine, why are you censoring our page? And it turns out it wasn't them. It was the criminals were hiding our page in the Wayback Machine, and nobody could access it. So you can look at Targeted Justice Twitter feed, and you can see how more or less 2 weeks ago, Targeted Justice posted a warning, not a warning, an announcement to the people of the Internet Archive saying, why is our page hidden? And within that day at 4 p.m., they had fixed it. And the good thing is that whatever it was that the criminals were doing, the Internet Archive got to strengthen the security in the very important servers, that because they render an important service to the world. Okay. The second thing I want to mention is the following. Richard can explain this a little bit, but when Targeted Justice publishes a newsletter, we had identified some of the criminals that take that newsletter and forward it like 300 times. Since we caught them on it, this is what they're doing now. They take the emails of many of you that they have hacked, and they have your password, and then they forward it. Like today, one of our digital warriors, they used his Yahoo account and forwarded 44 times in 4 different devices. And we see this because we see it in the reach part of Substack. So we urge you, as a matter of digital hygiene,
change your password.
Change your passwords, okay? And as I have explained to some people, okay, use the text, the notepad. Don't type it directly into your web page, into your email. Just copy your password in the notepad and then paste it on when you're going to log in. And for those of you like me, I'm going to try it. I haven't tried it yet, but I know that because I put my TENS unit, and I know that this eye is where there's a lens. Well, maybe you covering the eye that you think you have a lens, you can, make it harder for them to find out what it is. Okay. So, yeah, change. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, the real buildup here is a promotion for Digital Warriors. We need you to get on board with Digital Warriors. If you're at home and you want to get involved, here's your chance. I cannot explain or overstate how effective this campaign has been. We need more Digital Warriors. This is what will help shut down the program.
That's why they're so scared.
Get on board. Join us on Twitter. If you've never had a Twitter account, get on there. If you've TikTok, Truth Social, get Instagram, get on there and join in with the other TIs and help us contact these important government officials and make them aware of the scope and scale of this program, and we will get it shut down. Okay, Digital Warriors, join us.
Yes, and listen, I want to thank the support for all of you sending us nice messages. I want you to understand that the criminals, they are like rabid hyenas. They are so angry because they are being attacked from many fronts, and you are seeing it with the attacks on the Tesla dealerships, with the attack to InfoWars. One of his broadcasters got swatted 2 days in a row. Another one got murdered. The deep state is collapsing, and they are angry. They are furious. And this is no time to step back. This is the time that, like in war, when the criminals are coming down, that's when we have to move in. Okay. So do not, and I know, because it's happened to us, that the physical and gang stalking attacks have increased, and hacking. We know that. Look, our page is down. Why is our page down? Because we are being effective in shutting down the criminals. So do not for a second stop. Do not, because we are going to be victorious in this. Okay. And also, thank you, Simone. Yeah, the TJ website is still not working. This is what we are doing, and we're just telling you so you know. We purchased another domain, which is targetedjustice.org, and we are going to publish some of the pages there, okay, while we get the entire website down, so to serve our community. So do not think that we're not working every day, every waking hour on this matter. Okay, Simon. So I'm so sorry that the website is not on, but please go to the Wayback Machine, and there you can search for targetedjustice.com and you will see it there. Okay. And another thing, and this is not his, this is my personal thing. You know, I am very committed to shutting down this program. And like I have told everybody, I will rather die standing than live on my knees. Okay. It is very hurtful that there's a lot of people out there that have nothing to do but to run their mouth defaming us. We are working here for you, and nothing that anybody says is going to make us stop. So the criminals that are doing this kind of campaign should know that nothing is going to stop us from fighting them. We are going to shut down this program, and it's going to come to an end. So we just urge you to be a little bit more Christian, or a little bit more spiritual, or a little bit more of a good person, and do not attack the people that are fighting for your freedom from torture, because you're only helping the criminals doing that. And that just comes from the bottom of my heart, because I wear my heart on my sleeve. Okay.
So digital warriors, get online, help us,
yes,
support us.
Please, Digital Warriors, we have it in English, we have it in Spanish, in my Substack, and also in the Rumble channel, Real Targeted Justice. Please share it. Latin America is being atrociously attacked. And we have Javier, and we have Valdemir, and we have Horacio. Please share it with all your Spanish, Hispanic, Latin American people, and people. I know that in some places in Europe it's a little difficult, but please share it, and please start on your own, because by reposting and by tagging these public officials, we are going to force them into a point where they cannot ignore us any longer. Okay. Anything else? Thank you so much. Build your own server. Well, maybe down the line when we have the resources for that, Anointed Night. But you have to understand that we are a very small nonprofit, and we are this is like a 4-person band, right?
No, we've
got more, but
we've got our officers and our volunteers,
and we are very grateful to our volunteers.
Yeah, so we're doing the best we can with what we've got.
Yes. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm gonna be in Chief Jones' call in a little while. So I just wanted to let you know, number one, we're not stopping the fight. We are not going to stop fighting to get the page back online. We are going to keep you posted, and you can go to the Internet Archive in the meantime. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be going. We already notified Pam Bondi. Okay, so thank you, thank everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.